Hello, welcome back to our second episode of the Lit Corner, where we celebrate and seek stories. I'm Sri Lakshmi.
And I'm Purvaja.
We're your co-hosts, and we are from Skillet Readers, where we transform books into experiences. So, for those of you who joined us the last time, we spoke to Anam Sharif, an up-and-coming children's author who has published 2 books so far, and she spoke about her latest publication, which is called Brother Trouble. Today, we have different guests and very, very special guests. And I let Purvaja talk about today's theme a little bit.
All right. So we are really excited to dig into this theme because it's a concept that Sri and I have really been observing of late, and that is the rise of reading communities. So we want to really understand what has brought out this rise, what do reading communities and clubs mean to different people, and what is the impact or potential impact these communities have on our reading journeys right now. And what better way to do that than to have this conversation with 3 people who are actually at the center of this? And Sri Lakshmi will introduce them.
With us, we have Twisha, Nicole, and Smriti, and they are part of something called LitandLatte. So a little bit about LitandLatte. LitandLatte is more than just a book club. It's a social space where great reads meet even better conversations. Started by Nicole and Smriti, 2 book lovers who wanted to turn their shared passion into something bigger. LitandLatte is now a growing community that's all about connection over stories, coffee, and conversation. All of them host fun, laid-back events with just the right touch of bookish charm. Whether you're a hardcore reader or just here for the socials, there's always a space for you at LitandLatte. How lovely. Come for the books, stay for the people. Just to say a little bit more about each of them individually, Twisha is a humanities student on the path to law. She collects bookmarks like relics, but still uses a boarding pass from 2023. Okay, cool. Nicole is a commerce student with a psychology obsession and a talent for reading about morally gray characters. And Smriti is a humanities student with an interest in fashion journalism while being emotionally attached to fictional characters. So that's LitandLatte for you.
So welcome to the Lit Corner, Twisha, Smriti, and Nicole. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Hi.
Okay, wonderful. So one thing we wanted to add, because that's going to add a little bit of color to our discussion and the beginning of our first question, is all 3 of them are students who have chosen to take this path. So this question, I think, would be primarily for Nicole and Smriti, and then Twisha can join in. What brought this on in the first place? Why did you feel the need to start LitandLatte? You have so many more commitments on your plate. So why start the community and why start it now?
If we're going to be honest, we did start it for college and college applications, but we've already been doing half of this. We read a lot, we talk about books, creating playlists, and all of that. We just turned it into something that other people can be a part of as well. And yeah, now it's just getting real.
Anything that you would want to add in, Smriti and Twisha, around like the personal motivations
I think it
to
was
join this?
whenever we're having like a normal conversation, it's just mostly about books. So I remember telling Twisha, ki, oh, we should actually start a podcast, which never actually happened. I remember calling Nicole and we were like, oh, do you want to do a book club? Because I haven't really seen Bangalore book clubs. And she was like, oh my God, yeah.
I was actually really, really shocked at them because we have random ideas, okay, and we talk about it for months and it never happens. It's just there. So they made this in 2 days and they executed it. I did not take this seriously and I did not think this would happen, but it did, and it was really cool to see.
It's also because nobody has time to like actually meet at this point because we have a bunch of things. So it's kind of like an excuse for us to also meet. And it was also fun because like we're doing it to other people as well. So it's like socializing and all that stuff.
So, just because you said it's fun, I want to dig in a little bit more. What exactly happens during your meetups? Do you want to give our listeners a bit of a preview or an overview to what happens at your events and what Little
Mhm.
Lattes is all about?
We've still done only one event so far. We have another very, very fun event coming up. So people usually think a book club is just about like books, right? So I didn't want to make it about books because obviously, be real, like you're not going to show up all the way to like Cubbon Park just to like talk about books. That's okay. Let's add something else. So for example, like this book of the month was something related to mystery. So we decided to do like a treasure hunt. So it's like people actually show up, you actually do a picnic, you get to meet other people, along with like have fun because you're doing like a very socializing event. So we divide them into two groups, they do treasure hunts, it's fun. Nicole can bake. So she bakes like brownies, and Twisha can make sandwiches. She makes good sandwiches. So she does that. I make coffee. So it's like a picnic all together and it changes each and every month. That's
Right, that sounds like fun. It sounds like something that I might drag myself outside of the house for. But there are other of these reading communities. Like one thing
Mhm.
that really comes to mind is Carbon Reads, where a bunch of
Mhm.
people get together, they read silently, and it's grown really significantly from strength to strength. So why do you think another community, and I want to really understand why you chose to focus on young adults. I believe that's your audience. So maybe
Yeah.
if one of you could also speak a bit more to why that audience and why can't they choose any other book club that exists out there?
Okay, as you said, carbon rates, in my perspective, it's probably for people who are above 19. I feel like when I'm going out, and I'm an extrovert in general, so I prefer to socialize with people. So I really like the idea of like getting the books together along with like other things and socializing and stuff like that. So I feel like it's for that. And if you think about it, Gen Zs, they only step out of their house when it's something fun. It's for like teens basically, and things teens like to do. For example, raves are going very famous right now, so things like that. And also we don't choose books like, no offense, but we don't choose books which are like very old. This is very cliche, but people think that usually when teens come to their mind, Colin Hoover is famous, which I don't think so. We have other authors as well. So I think our focus is also there. We do much more than just Colin Hoover and like fictional and historical fiction and all that stuff.
We
Nick,
stick to trending books because that's what people are reading, but also we don't restrict it to people who have only read the book. All of us barely have time to like sit and read an entire book, and most teens don't have that attention span anymore. So even if you don't read, you can still come. And also, why it's specifically targeted towards teens, I feel like children have events, adults have events, and then like teens are just like an awkward gap that's just left out for some reason.
okay, so I really want to get into that major topic of whether people are reading. So now this is something that Sri Lakshmi and I face a lot because we do a lot of our programs for primarily children between the ages of 8 and 14 or so. And we can certainly see a painful decline in the amount of people who are reading. It's very evident, and it is genuinely something that troubles us and keeps us awake at night, right? We wanted to understand what does this mean or look like for teenagers?
See, I would like to say that a lot of teens between school and social media and all of that, they don't really have the time because even when we like read and all, there's not a lot of time to actually sit and read a book. And like Twasha said, the attention span of Gen Z is lowered a lot. And I think that's why mainly you can see the decline in teenagers reading books, which is why most of our like events, even though it is a book club, right? So our events, like Trisha said, doesn't fully revolve around you have to read the book to be able to come. So I would like to say that because it's at least something related to the book, it would give them some sort of motivation maybe to read or actually think that, oh, this sounds interesting.
And even when we're having conversations, like in the picnic table, we do bring up books. Not often, but it's still there because I feel like books are something it's very easy to read, It's like you don't really have to put so much focus to read. But if you think about it, Gen Zs are easy, very influenced by what their friends say. So imagine you're speaking about a book, they genuinely feel like, oh, that actually sounds fun. Why not? Why can't I just read it?
In general, like teens, Nicole was saying attention span is really bad. I myself have gone through it. As a kid, I used to read, I used to sit one sitting, I used to finish huge books. But now I get distracted every 2 minutes on my phone, on Instagram, here and there, and I have other stuff to do. So by the time I finish a book, it takes like a month or more. And that's actually quite sad, but that's how it's going now. So you just have to find ways to make people, want to read at least so that it's not completely disappeared.
No, and I resonate a lot. And I think this is one of the things that we are trying to do with making reading more of not so much of an individual focused activity. That's why we have a lot of our focus on peer learning, which is learning from each other. And it looks like the kind of activities that you are bringing up during your book club sessions also involves people interacting with each other. But I was curious about something that you said earlier, Smriti, which is around you want to bring out books that are maybe not as stereotypical of what people think teenagers are
Yeah.
reading right now. So, what are you all reading right now?
So I feel like one of the popular books are Good Girls Guide to Murder. I'm pretty sure even you guys have like heard of it, right? I'm pretty sure everybody here has read it. So it's like that. And it's also like a series now, which is even more fun to watch. And we also have another book, Shatter series, which I love.
No.
Right now, I'm reading the guest list. Me and Nicole are reading the same book.
What I am doing right now is I am reading a memoir. Actually, I'm reading nonfiction, which is very unlike me. But when I read nonfiction, it should be something that feels very fictional. I usually read autobiographies of people who have gone through crazy stuff. Like the Trevor Noah book was really good. I read some memoir about a North Korean woman escaping. And right now I'm reading I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jannette McCurdy, which is a child actress who was kind of abused by her mom because she wanted to fulfill her own dreams. So it's pretty good so far. So yeah, and for recommendations, I would also say Holly Jackson books. It's popular, but it's popular for a reason. And she's like one of my favorite authors. I've read all her books so far, and it's really, really good.
Okay, fantastic. Definitely going to put up the list in our show notes. So please check this out and you can let us know if you agree with this list or not. So going to the one of the final questions before we wrap up today, what are your aspirations for Lit and Latte and what support do you want to ask for?
I think for now, maybe I'm okay with just it being like a social club and like a book club, right? Because we host it. But maybe in like 2, 3 years or like 5 years since I'm done with my degree, I'm open to, I don't know, because a lot of people told me that literature in latte sounds like a cafe. And I've never seen library, a cafe, open mics, flower shop all together. Like it's very dreamy. I definitely see it as a cafe, hopefully one day. And definitely I want to do those mini libraries in the park, not paid ones. People can just come, take it, put it back down, something like that. So maybe like those little nooks in like parks for libraries with like things like that. And I also see hosting karaoke nights, open mics, raves. I would love if we get support from people, especially from space and brands who would like collaborate with us because even we are small, we just started off. So we would love to get brands and people who genuinely want to be a part of this because I feel like there are a bunch of people in Bangalore who are like still finding out about us. So I feel like people who can genuinely go ahead, put us out there. Would love that. I really appreciate you guys doing that as well.
Right now, I think mainly because we just started. So obviously reposts or people interacting with the page, follows, likes, all of that will help reach more people. And then once that happens, I think we just want to create a community where people can feel comfortable in any way that they want to. So I think that is something that we really want to do. We're planning on doing different kinds of events, right? Different books, different concepts, and different locations every event. So they can see what they want to come to, and they can, pick and choose, and they can come. And also, like Smriti said, scaling it up would be really great. I think all of us are planning to go to like different places in the country. So, like, hopefully, multi-city project could happen.
Yeah.
See,
Nicole, any dreams you want to share as well?
Mainly, like Smriti said, even in my head, the end goal, 5 years down the line, it would end up being, hopefully, fingers crossed. We're very, very new. We have a lot of things to figure out, yeah, but we'll figure it out as we go.
Right. So before we wrap this up, I wanted to actually throw this question to Sri Lakshmi. So, Sri Lakshmi, at the beginning of this podcast, we introduced this as a conversation around reading communities and why they exist and what they mean to people. I'm wondering what you are taking away from this conversation as you've listened to the three wonderful young women here. What have you taken away from this?
Firstly, I want to thank the three of you for your time. I actually feel like I've learned so much just from this brief discussion. So, what I'm hearing from the three of you is one, this sense of community with teenagers seems to be quite important to all of you and to teenagers as a group. And I empathize. My heart kind of goes out to teenagers when Twisha was saying that there are events for children and then there are events for adults, but teenagers seem a lost, forgotten group, right? So my heart goes out to all of you. I also feel this is giving people a sense of belonging, and it's a great way to come together and talk about your values, your beliefs. I mean, readers, whoever's coming. And like you said, giving them a safe space to express themselves, which I think is insanely important when you're a teenager. So really, really proud of the work that you guys are doing. And I love the idea of a coffee shop with books.
So, when is the next event for LitandLatte?
So it's like a Gen Z thing, very famous right now. So it's like a break the silence for book troverts because like it's going very viral and I'm pretty sure people would love to come. We're hosting fake shadi. There is no groom, there's no bride, there is nothing like illegal happening. But it's just that it's just for DJs, food, music, dance, that's all. And we're going to be playing a game of Mafia in the fake shadi because our book of the month is the guest list. So it literally revolves around a wedding, an island, all of that. So for that, we decided for doing this
and we're trying to make it more
wedding.
Indianized, I think. Our thing is the fake shadi with full on like Bollywood music and lehengas and whatnot, because
Yeah,
the guest list is obviously not Indian, but since yeah,
nice.
so we are trying to like bring that aspect also in.
All right. So I just wanted to make a personal appeal to a few people to support Lit and Latte. So, one, to all the parents who have teenage children, please consider joining the community, especially if you are looking for a space for book lovers to come together. And I want to end and conclude on a couple of thoughts that came to mind for me. One, I think authors, if you're listening, we are big champions at Skill Lead Readers of Indian children's literature, and there are many reasons, and I'm not going to get into that why now. But we do recognize that there is a gap potentially among young adults, right? Especially teenagers who are older teenagers. And perhaps this is a call for authors to also think about stories that are relevant to this age group as well. And second, I just wanted to commend all of you for doing this at an age where traditionally a lot of people would have prioritized other things happening in life. And I applaud the idealism, and I'm learning a lot from this idealism today. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you to our listeners. Our question to all of you is, have you been part of reading communities? What has that meant to you? What advice do you have for Lit and Latte, and for Smriti, Nicole, and Twisha. Share that in the comments, whether it's on YouTube or on Spotify, and reach out to us with questions and comments. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
today.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.